Hey everybody, it's episode 390 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It's also Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022.
Yes, it is.
I'm Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
Walnut.
Hi.
Man, I cannot believe it's February.
Oh no, January felt real fucking long.
I think January felt fast as shit.
I
Do
can't
more
believe
stuff and it'll feel longer.
I can't
I don't
believe
want
that
to.
it's I can't believe that it's already I already have 8 hours overtime this.
I can't believe it's not butter.
I mean, true, totally true.
You should work a little less, though, if you have that much overtime.
Fucking the Monday was the last day of the month. This needs to be done today. It needs to get done today. Well, you probably should have recognized that like 5 hours ago, and not at 5 o'clock, and then leave 3 people to get it done. Something that is going to take all night, even with 3 people. And then same thing yesterday. Yesterday they just sent me a boatload of shit that just took all day, and then today at 4:45, literally had 15 minutes left of our book club movie. I'm getting a message from my boss. Hey, I need to talk to you, and she's calling me. So I had to pause the movie, help them out, get that all started, and then finish it up, which was a pain. I was able to go. I set myself up so that once lunch hit, after lunch, I was able to watch the movie during lunch, and after lunch, not do any work, just run my scripts and watch the movie. And then they call me with 15 minutes left in the damn movie.
Yeah, that does suck. Man, you just need a better job.
That is true. I just need to get out of this place. If you,
or like a sugar daddy.
If everyone wants to just follow me, twitch.tv/b_walnuts, that would be a real big help in getting me to not have to work.
Good luck with that.
I mean, if we get enough downloads, mate. If the 200 people that download or whatever it is that you say a week download the show, or thousands of people a month, whatever, that download the show, just subscribe or follow my Twitch and then come watch me 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes Fridays from 7 to 10 o'clock Eastern time. You know, it could get to a point. You never know.
I mean, it certainly could. It 100% could. And it seems like you get the most, good video stuff when you were playing, like, Mega Man and Pokemon.
Yeah, Mega Man and Pokemon are really super helping me out right now. Mega Man for sure. But it's also, I recently entered into a streaming community of small streamers trying to help each other out, boost each other's numbers, get everyone to, like, get the views and things like that. And so they've been really helping me progress a little bit more. Because, like, my cousin who started streaming in September reached affiliate status before I did, and I started streaming back in, like, May. And it's because he had this community. And
or is he just better?
No, I still at this point have more followers than he. He had people that consistently watched him because he had this community that, like, in order to stay within, you have to watch other streamers, you have to let people know when you're watching streamers, stuff like that. You have to be interactive with the community itself, otherwise it's not just a, hey, watch my shit community, it's a, be a part of the community.
Sounds like a lot of work. Good for you for wanting to deal with that.
It's not, because, like, let's see, if I check the Discord right now, there's no one streaming, so I don't have to worry about it. And if somebody were streaming, I would open it up and put it on mute, let them know I'm there and that I'm lurking, and be done with it. Because that's really all they need are the views. They don't, like, the conversations aren't really that major, but the views are really what super help you.
Yeah, you're trying to game the system.
Exactly, in a way. Which I've been working on gaming the system by playing games like retro games and games that not a lot of people play. That wasn't really helping me. So at this point, find people that'll actually come watch my streams.
Yeah, because it's that unfortunate thing where you're only going to find, like, people are only going to find you if you're playing a game that they want to watch. But if you're not playing a game that they want to watch, they're never going to find you. Mm-hmm. And it's not like Twitch ever promotes smaller streams. Like, you go to the front page or you do, like, any sort of, like, wild card stuff, and, like, the recommendations are always channels that have hundreds of concurrent views.
Yeah, that's the problem with Twitch, is that there's no algorithm to tell you, like, what... I mean, it'll tell you, like, some of the streamers that are that you follow, here's who they follow, and shit like that. But, there's no real algorithm of, you watch 7 Days to Die games, here's a streamer who plays 7 Days to Die. It'll show you, here's a streamer who's playing 7 Days to Die right now, but it's their top streamer at the moment, and not a random streamer, like someone who's getting 1 or 2 views. because Twitch, although they'll get ad revenue when I reach affiliate status, they don't care about someone who's not affiliate status or who's not like partner status, because they're not getting a lot of views, even though if you click on once I reach affiliate status, they're going to get ad revenue for running ads before and during my stream.
But I mean, that's not how revenue works, though. It has to be people actually watching your stream.
Well, yeah. And if I have 5 people watching my stream, they're going to get ad revenue for it, but they're still not going to care about me because I'm only getting 5 people watching my stream rather than 1,000 people watching someone's stream. They're not going to promote the people who are affiliate status and small streamers trying to get big. They promote the person who has the most viewers at the moment. And that's it. And that's how fucked up Twitch is.
Yeah, man, Twitch only cares about Ninja.
Yeah, exactly. Who fucking sucks at video games, by the way. He's horrible.
I've never watched. But, I mean, like, isn't this a little bit of, like, the pot calling the kettle black right here?
He's also a shitty person. Ninja is...
See, that I don't know.
Ninja's not a good person. But because because he plays tower building simulator, people love him.
Yeah, man, have you thought about jumping into Fortnite?
Fuck that.
Look, man, if you want views, you gotta go where the kids go.
No, I mean, no. I will play, anything before I play. What is a game that I've been holding off with you guys that I won't play?
Rocket League.
I will play Rocket League before I play Fortnite. But honestly, I haven't been holding off on playing Rocket League. I never downloaded it. Like, I'm not against playing Rocket League. I just have never downloaded it and played it.
How about, Minecraft?
I would play Minecraft before, and again, Minecraft I used to think was dumb until I got into a lot of the survival builder games, and now it's more of, I'm afraid of how deep I'll go into Minecraft if I...
Oh yeah, no, you'll be lost.
Yeah, it's less of I don't like Minecraft and more of I want my life.
Yeah, I think like Erica has like 300 hours into Minecraft on the Switch now, and she got it for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
So, did you guys see the interesting news that happened on Monday though? There's
been some interesting news. I think I did. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Sony is purchasing Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
Which just seems fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, Bungie does not like having people over them. Every time that they get into some sort of agreement with a company, either publishing for them or owning them or whatnot, they struggle for years and then have celebrations when they finally get cut loose. Like, I don't understand why they keep agreeing to this shit. Like, it's not what they want.
I mean, I haven't read too much into it, but based on, like, the initial... releases that came out of this and what people have been saying, like, it seems more of just, Sony now funds them, but they can still do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, within reason. So the wording for it was essentially they are still an independent entity underneath of Sony's umbrella, and they are at liberty to self-publish if they want to. And they will still be multi-platform for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
But some of that also has to do with the fact that, like, Bungie accepted money from somebody who I'm drawing a blank on right now. I don't think it was Tencent. May have been Tencent. It's usually Tencent. To make, like, a mobile app or something like that. So that'll like, they already accepted the money for that. Like, that has to get done. Kind of like when Microsoft purchased Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
Obsidian still had to release The Outer Worlds, I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
On all platforms.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows where this is actually going to go? But it's just, like, Activision didn't own Bungie. They just had a publishing right for all of Bungie's stuff, and Bungie hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bungie worked with Microsoft, and apparently fucking hated it. Like, what? I don't understand why they keep tying themselves to larger corporations. Like, if y'all can't address your money correctly with a game that you already have that has, like, microtransactions and is still popular enough, then, like, you're not good at business and you should just stop. Like, hire somebody good at business and get your shit together.
I don't know, it's all it all depends on, like, the relationship that Sony's trying to build with Bungie. So, Bungie and Sony have had a good relationship since Destiny launched. And they've been building upon that. So maybe with this whole, like, you're staying independent, we're not taking control, we're just giving you the money to do whatever you want to do. Like, to me, it's saying one of two things. Either one, but this is actually part of both of them. But one, Sony is realizing that especially right now, they're losing money on exclusivity. So just start buying companies to let them keep doing what they're doing, because they're still going to make money on those sales, whether it sells on a Sony platform or on an a Microsoft platform. Or two, Sony's realizing that, console markets in general just aren't really that lucrative anymore. And maybe games on demand are. And therefore, because we've heard the rumors that they are working on their own GOD program, maybe they're going in the line with Microsoft as well of just, why don't we just make these, systems that can run the games and not need discs and all this shit, and all they need to be able to do is run it. What's it called? The conspiracy that me and Drew are subscribing to with Microsoft, where they don't want to do consoles anymore, because consoles are not worth it anymore. And they just want to release and publish games.
So,
But here's the reason that thing works for Microsoft and not Sony, is Microsoft has the whole built-in platform of Windows that Sony does not have.
yeah, Sony is, when it comes down to it, a hardware manufacturer.
Yeah.
The video game market is their most profitable market. And while they have the most concentrated group of, regarded developers, they make hardware. They make cell phones, they make TVs, computers, they're a hardware manufacturer, so for them making the consoles, probably actually easier in the long run, because they already have the channels for the chipsets and the boards and the plastic and all that stuff. Whereas Microsoft doesn't. Microsoft doesn't make anything else. All their other shit is software.
Mm-hmm.
And like Drew said, they have the Windows base at this point. They also have the cloud. They have their Azure environment, which, while not used as robustly as AWS is, it's still a perfectly serviceable cloud that they can put all of their own shit in and not have any additional overhead, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because they've released a bunch of their first party titles on PC recently. God of War, Horizon. I think they're starting to lean on maybe the games that we're making can be played on other things. And right now, especially right now, since no one can get a PS5 still, even though, like you guys said, they have all the connections to get these and whatnot and blah, 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 you still can't find a PS5.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
it's
so connections or not, the hardware to make stuff doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, so it makes more sense that, Sifu, a PlayStation exclusive game, also released on Epic Game Store. It's PS4, PS5, and PC on Epic only.
Which is actually pretty common. Sony having console exclusivity is pretty common.
Yeah. I don't know if Slow Clap is owned by Sony or not. I don't think they are.
No.
But it's just, maybe they're starting to realize, especially right now, that they can't make exclusive games because no one has their new console.
Well, that's why they keep releasing everything on PS4.
And are they good ports? That's the question.
I mean, in most cases, they're not ports; they're being developed for PS4.
Yeah, but right now, they can't really develop games for their new system because no one has their new system. So keep going forward and buying the Bungies and the companies that make games for multi-platforms, so they can keep bringing in the money for the sales of both PC games and Microsoft games and their PlayStation games on their PS4. And, maybe just be it'll just be easier if we develop an app on the PC, just like Game Pass. They could do it. And I'm starting to think that they might be leaning in that direction once they get their GOD system out to see how good it works. Maybe.
Well, hold on. Two things. One, they already have a games on demand system. That is PlayStation Now. You're conflating games on demand and a pay service to download games whenever you want. Those are two separate things. They have their streaming. Your game is whatever. You can run it on whatever. It doesn't need to be run on the thing built to run it. Versus what Game Pass is, where it's you need the thing to be able to run it. It's not a cloud-based solution or whatever. If your PC
you're talking
or
kind
whatever
of semantics
doesn't,
there, Drew.
Yes, but it is a separate thing, and that they already have the other thing too.
But I'm pretty sure, Rich, you were talking about like a Game Pass.
Yeah,
right?
I'm using games on demand and a games on demand system as a generic of, yes, they have PlayStation Now, but it's old shit. It's not current shit. Whereas Games Pass has muck or gunk that came out a month ago, has Halo Infinite that came out 2 months ago. Like, they are developing, and they, or at least it's been rumored, that they are working on something like that, of that nature. And that, to me, is more of a games on demand thing than PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is a games on demand, but in a sense of, I can go back and play the older shit that I might want to play. Whereas, if they turn PlayStation Now into PlayStation Games Pass, obviously it's not going to be called that, but just using the title for an example, like, more people might be more interested in it, especially me, because then I don't have to be paying $60 every time I want a new game. I have no problem paying $20 a month to play new games for Xbox and PlayStation than paying $60. I just bought Pokemon. Like, if I could have gotten that for $10 a month instead of paying $60 up front, I'd much rather do that. Because if I don't get a new game from a Nintendo system, and 6 months later I'm still playing Pokemon, it was worth my fucking time.
Yeah, I have a feeling that whatever Sony does do with like a games on demand game subscription platform is not going to be like a 1-for-1 to Microsoft, because Sony treats the market very differently. Like, Microsoft wants to be a game as a service provider. They 100% don't want to be a platform holder in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, they want Game Pass to just be a service on any platform that supports video games. Sony wants to be a platform holder because the platform is where they make their money, and they don't necessarily want their brand new games to be available anywhere else, so that it both drives up hardware cost, which increases the potential install base for their games. That's why they have yet to release a PC port of a game that is less than 3 years old, I believe. Right? Does that sound right to you guys?
I think, like 2 or 3, something like that.
I think I know God of War just came out on PC, and I think that was the most recent game. Cause like, Uncharted 4 is coming soon. That was 2016. Horizon was 2017. I forget when, Days Gone came out, but that game kind of got pushed under the rug anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't see Sony pushing into the same market. I think they're going to keep doing what they're doing because they are a very Japanese company when it comes to things, and Japanese companies tend to not like to change. They like to just keep doing what they're doing, and they want to keep making hardware. They want to keep having that sort of pedigree they have for their first party studios. And I do think that they will make more purchases like Bungie, where they're buying like a single developer, not necessarily somebody with a ton of IP. Like, I don't know that Sony is going to pull like a Microsoft and buy like a Square Enix or a Capcom or anything like that. But I could see them buying some other studios in the Bungie realm. Maybe IO at this point, if IO wants to be purchased, and do something similar with them, where it's just like, yeah, just keep making Hitman games. We're just going to keep releasing them everywhere. Like, fuck it. Just go sit in the corner by yourselves. Like, don't bother us. We won't bother you.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft's just like, no, Activision, come over here. We're going to just fire fucking everybody, I hope, and just make Call of Duty a Game Pass exclusive. Fuck PlayStation.
Yeah.
If they want Call of Duty, they can let us put Game Pass on their platform like we've been asking them to do for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you know that's been a conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Rick. No, I was just going to make a joke about Game Pass, so go ahead.
Oh, well, I definitely could see Sony putting their first-party games day and date launch on a PlayStation Game Pass type thing on PlayStation, not on PCs though.
But it'll be streaming only. You won't be able to download it.
No, I mean, you can already download the things on PlayStation now.
I keep forgetting they let you actually download.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
I've literally never looked at PlayStation Now because, like Richie said,
yeah,
it's mostly old titles. It's few and far between games that I'd give a single fuck about. Yeah. And when it launched, it was streaming only, and fuck that.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, like I don't see them launching their games on PC any sooner than they currently do.
Yeah, I think we're just going to be stuck in this weird limbo where they just keep forcing games onto last-gen hardware to keep their new games on the PlayStation platform to launch.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they care about. Like, they care about, like, that brand recognition being the hardware, not being the brand. And Microsoft seems like it's in the opposite boat where they want to be a brand. They want to just be, you think video games, you think Game Pass. The same way when you think you need a tissue, you ask if anyone has any Kleenex.
If you're going to search something online, you're going to Google. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They fucked up with Bing. They're never going to, nobody is ever going to say unironically, I'm going to go Bing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I am interested to see what the fuck happens with Bungie, though. Like, I'm going to say, so it's 2022. So assuming that this purchase is done by, like, summer. So I don't think it's official yet.
No, it's probably as official as the Microsoft Activision purchase is. Like, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, I believe that this is, because it's a smaller purchase, I don't think there's as much, like, oversight that they have to go through. But still, like, let's say, like, 6 months, it's done. I'm giving it, like, 2.5 to 3 years post it being finalized that Bungie is, like, trying to get the fuck out of it. Like, that is their MO at this point. I think that is how they garner goodwill, is by running away from their corporate overlords. But I don't know. We skipped around a little bit, Rich. What is on the agenda?
Oh, on the agenda today is, give me 1 second, because I minimized my screen for a second. On the agenda, we already talked about, Sony and Bungie. We're gonna talk some about Pokemon Legends Arceus. I hear it all different everywhere. Just wanted to cover bases for both.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute, too.
We watched, Silent Hill from 2006. And then, at least me and Cobb watched The Legend of Vox Machina. I don't know if Druten did, but at least me and Cobb did.
I would bet money Drew did not.
Nope.
Didn't think so. You might like it. You might not.
Yeah, no, I definitely could see myself liking it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, like, if you're interested in it, just wait till it wraps up. Like, just sit down and, like, they're 30-minute episodes. Just kind of binge through them. I think it's, like, 12 episodes at most.
Yeah, I think that's what it was with the Kickstarter. But they already have signed for a season 2.
Yeah, which is cool.
I believe Amazon signed up for, like, at least 3 seasons.
So they signed up for a second season before the first season was even done production.
Well, yeah. When they signed for Amazon, they signed for 2 seasons.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just knew that they were signed long before it aired.
I think that's how it was. I can't 100% remember. I think that's how it was. But we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about some Pokemon Legends Arceus, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot of stuff. Apparently in Japan, the I don't know whether it's kanji or katakana, like the way that it's written, it is Arceus.
Okay.
Like, it is a soft C sound.
Okay.
But in America, it is apparently Arceus or Arceus. In one of the games, I'm not sure which one, they released something in the game that was related to Arceus, that was called the Arc system, ARK.
Okay. I'm still going to call it Arceus. I don't care.
Yeah. I think Arceus sounds better.
Yeah,
but yeah, apparently in Japan, it's Arceus. In America, we're a bunch of fucking savages and we call them Arceus.
Yeah. But me and you played it, Cobb. I have a quick little minor gripe with it.
Fucking of course you do.
This is just very minor. It's not like a big deal, but this is just like something that like kind of frustrates me, that it's not just this game, but other games have done it as well. Give me a title card when I first open the game. I don't want to load my game up and go right into the game. Like, I want to load the game, and like, maybe I might not be able to play it at the moment that I actually turn it on and install it and everything. And I'm tired of games like, cause Forza Horizon 5 did this as well. Like, the first time you go into it and it runs all its tests and loads everything up, you're thrown right into the game. You don't get a title card, you don't get to start the game, it's just, you go right in. And it's the same with Legends Arceus. You load it up and it starts talking to you and asking you if you're a boy or a girl, and you don't get a chance to save until you have to do all of this stuff and follow all this conversation. And if you exit out of that and close everything that's going on, like, you have to re-watch it all.
Okay, boomer.
No, it's just, and look, this is just, for me, I wanted the title card for stream, promotion. And I wanted to have the title card set up on my monitor with the Funko Pop that I was using on the background of the Funko Pop I was using and everything. I wanted that title card. I could not set that up without having to play the game to a certain point, which I was still working. Like, I couldn't just, like, set it up, take the picture, and go, and while doing work. Like, and then, if I wanted to restart it anyway, to have my viewers maybe watch the intro stuff, I would have had to restart the game. And it's just like, give me a title card and let me hit play to go play the game.
I'd have to say I am 100% on the opposite side of this. I don't I don't care for the title cards. Like, they're neither here nor there, but I am totally fine with the game just fucking starting. It's one less thing I have to do to get into it.
I mean, it's sometimes, like, I'm one of those people that when I get a new game, especially a new game I'm excited for, I want to let everything play out. And I want to see, like, the little demo, promo material that they have leading up to the actual title card and everything. Like, games do that. They have the little, like cinematic that you get to watch, and sometimes it's story based, and sometimes it's just little clips from the game here and there and whatnot. And like a new game, I get excited. I watch that. It brings a little bit more excitement to me, and then it's like, go ahead and go. What do you want to do? And maybe I want to mess with my settings first. Maybe I want to like make set up for have super sensitive camera controls or this or that. Maybe I want to check those things. Maybe I want to turn on fucking subtitles, which doesn't matter in Arceus because there's no voice options, but there are games that I need to go through the first fucking 10 minutes of the game before I can even say, hey, I want to turn on subtitles, because sometimes I can't hear shit.
I mean, I'll give you on the, like, wanting to be able to change settings before getting into it. I cannot fucking think the last time I sat and let something play before hitting start on a game to go play it.
Yeah, I'm usually buffering start just to get it to start as soon as it loads up.
Anytime I get a new game, especially a new game that I'm excited for, it, like, I like, after the first time I watch it, I don't watch it again. But, like, I would always do it with, like, the Call of Duties and stuff. Every Call of Duty, I would load it up, I'd sit there and I'd watch all the little flash screens that they're showing and all the stuff and be like, oh my god, I can't wait. And then I'd play the game. And, like, it's one of those things that, like, I lose, and I'm not saying we need that, but like I don't lose too much about it, but it's just like I like that, and there's no screen like that in Arceus. Like I've loaded up to the title screen since then, and it's fine. But it's I don't know, I like going to the title screen first. It does not bother me to have to hit an extra to have to hit start. I'm used to hitting start. I've been hitting start for 33 years. I don't need, I like, what drives me nuts is I loaded this game up on my Switch while I was working just to have it set up, and it's trying to make me play right away. And then I can't, like,
have you considered you're playing games wrong?
I was going to say, have you considered that is a very niche complaint?
It is, and that's what I said, it's like a very small, minor gripe, and like, I haven't, besides Forza Horizon, I don't really know if there's any other games that bypass the title screen, but it's just, for me, I like a title screen. I like going into a title screen, especially to A, check my settings and everything, and then B, just to have that little bit of a, like, I don't know, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's a very minor little gripe that it drove me a little nuts. Yes, it might be niche, but it is, I like title screens.
You're one of the only people in the world, that's why they've gotten rid of them. You're a dying breed.
No, like, go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say, I mean, like, I'm indifferent. I don't care if there's a title screen or if it throws me directly into the game. Like, that's whatever. That's the game's choice, and however they want to do it, I don't care. Like, Hades has a title screen, I don't care. Like, whatever, it's fine. It's a title screen.
No, I mean, that definitely knocks Hades down at least 3 or 4 notches. It went from like a solid like 8 to like a 4. Fuck that title screen. Ruined the whole game.
Oh, but it's got such good music.
It does. You know what? It's back up to 8. Sorry, Rich. I'm only fucking with you. Like I'm pretty indifferent to them as well.
No, it's like I said, like I right away admitted, like I know it's a very minor thing. It's not, and like I said, it's not a super big deal. But like I ran into the problem with Forza Horizon 5 where I loaded it up and had everything installed and everything, and it went immediately into the game. And like that intro sequence was so fun. I wanted to show it on stream, but I could not figure out. Because I was playing on PC, I would have had I couldn't figure out how to delete my save to rewatch that. There's no
Forza was really bad about that.
Yeah,
like I don't understand. I looked around too, and there was not an easy like it was not an obvious thing to do to like erase your progress and start fresh.
Yeah, and that's like I wanted to show my viewers that intro. Like it was a really cool intro, and like with Arceus, it was just the picture I had to take for Instagram just had my Switch with the pop and the plushie behind it, and that's really all. And like the game wasn't loaded; it was just on the box, and I was just like, all right, I guess this works. It is what it is. Like, but it's still.
If you would have bought the physical copy, you could have had the physical games box.
Fuck physical copies, man.
I only do it for Nintendo because they don't like the internet.
Yeah, I mean. You're gonna lose your games on every system eventually, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Nintendo's been like kind of aggressive in the past about shutting down their markets.
I mean, sure. I have not had to uninstall a single game on my Switch, and I have bought a lot of games physical or digital.
So, I actually have like my memory card filled up a while ago, and I had to kind of remove some older stuff.
Well, actually. That might be. I might have actually had to delete some stuff, but like the stuff that I deleted were like demos and shit mostly. Like I believe I still have Hyrule Warriors on there. I believe I still and I own physically a Breath of the Wild. So
yeah, I actually I didn't have to delete a lot, and I do buy plenty of stuff on the Switch digitally, but like big first party stuff that I really want, I buy physically just to make sure that if in 10 years they decide that the Switch store doesn't have access to that stuff anymore, that I can easily pop it into a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like right now, like Nintendo has a lot of games that you just can't purchase in any way, shape, or form. Especially like there's no way to get Mario Galaxy 2.
I had a physical copy of that forever ago, and I believe I let somebody borrow it and I never got it back.
Yeah, so like, you would have to track down a physical copy of that game.
Well, that game was never sold digitally.
Oh, I know, but you know, we live in a world now where like that game could easily. That was just the first one that came to mind. Like, there's no reason that game couldn't have been either included in the 3D All Stars or be an HD remake.
True, but you can't complain about not being able to purchase a game that was never available digitally.
I can complain about anything I want. You're not the boss of me.
But I'm just like, based on your current what you're currently arguing, your argument's kind of invalid because it was never available digitally.
Yeah, that was just the first game that came to mind that was a Nintendo game. But like, pretty much anything on the Wii U is kind of hard to get at this point.
I'm probably I'd have to look up like Wind Waker HD if that is not available or not. If that's available or not on Switch, I don't really know. I don't.
No, Wind Waker and what was the other? Twilight Princess. Neither of them are available on Switch. Mm-hmm. People are actually waiting for them to be available on Switch.
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy 2 definitely sold digitally.
Did it?
Yep. You can buy it right now on GameStop's website for $20.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Huh. But the eShop got shut down.
Talk with GameStop how you figure that out.
Huh.
I could have. I mean, it was Wii, so I guess it could have been digital. I only bought.
So you can buy it for the Wii U.
Okay.
Fucking look at that! Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird because we're not wrong, right? Like that was a Wii game.
It was a Wii game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's $20 on the Wii U. Oh, it's super tiny, like the screen for it. So it is an emulated version of the Wii U version or of the Wii version. Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, look, that is something. But to get back on track, how far did you get into Arceus?
Let's see. I am ranked 2. And I am supposed to head over to like the arena. I didn't get far because that game makes exploring feel really fun, or really kind of intriguing. Like, for me, I want to go around, I want to see everything, and I want to find all the Pokemon. Like, I will openly admit the world can be a little lackluster looking in general, but I want to be able to find where all the Pokemon are. I think I spent like an hour trying to catch a bunch of Wurmples so I could evolve.
That tracks.
So I could I think I caught like 2 and then I couldn't find any more. And so someone on my stream was like, well, you can find them over in this area. So I went to find that area that they told me I could find them, because I was trying to get a Silicune, which apparently is just random to evolve a Silicune, and a Cuscoon.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's a day and night. You evolve, whichever one turns into dusk, however you pronounce it. You have to evolve the Wurmple in the evening. To get the Beautifly, you have to evolve it during the day.
See, I evolved it during the day, and I got a Cuscoon again.
Maybe I might have them swapped then.
I'm pretty sure I evolved one during the night, and I got a Cuscoon.
So, was it night or was it evening?
I don't remember. I just could have swore it was like night or evening. I can't remember.
So the easiest way to do it, because the outside doesn't like have a lot, like it's hard to tell with that, like just based on like the lighting, is go to either your hut or one of the camps, go to the bed and hit sleep until nighttime.
Yeah, and I know. I don't remember. I evolved one first and got a Cuscoon, and I believe that was at night, and then evolved one during the day and got it again.
Yeah, because I had the same thing happen. I evolved one, it turned into the Dustox eventually, and then I just evolved a second one at the opposite time of day, and I got the right one. I mean,
I caught a Silicune, and so I was like, all right, that's fine. This is all I need.
That works too.
So I can eventually evolve that into a Beautifly. But like I was having a good time like running around, seeing what's around, catching the things that I want to catch, because the way that they did the Pokedex in this one, in my opinion, is a lot more intriguing and entertaining than just having to catch a Pokemon to fill out the Pokedex.
Yeah. I like that they changed it, but it's also incredibly tedious. So like it definitely walks like a weird line for that. So Drew, and for anyone listening who doesn't know, the idea of this game is it's like turn of the century-esque Pokemon world. It's the region that will one day be Sinnoh. It's currently called Hisu or something like that. It's in Iseki, so you are from apparently the present day, and you are with a group who appears to be like outside settlers, essentially, like exploring and documenting this world. It seems very rooted in actual Japanese history, which is kind of weird, but cool also. But because it's the past, you're actually filling out the original Pokedex, essentially. And in order to actually complete a Pokemon, it's not just catch it, you have to get its like Pokedex rating up to level 10. Mm-hmm. And you do that by catching multiples of them, battling them, seeing specific types of move used, catching them at different types of day.
I mean, Kricketot, you just had to feed it. Like,
was that one of the things for Kricketot?
One of them was feed it. So, and you didn't have to feed 3 of them or multiples of them. You had to feed one of them, or you had to feed them X amount of times. So for me to get my my research to level 10 for the Pokedex for Kricketot, I only needed like 3 feedings. So I just threw a couple berries at it and just watched it eat. And I was like, all right, cool. Now it's at level 10. To me, it doesn't feel tedious to me, because a lot of it does come just natural.
Yeah, it's just more of if you're not actively battling a Pokemon, you're not seeing the moves that would help you raise it.
Yeah.
And because some Pokemon are super aggressive, it's not always conducive to get close enough to them for that targeting system to kick in, where you can hold left trigger and hit down on the D-pad, and it just brings up their file of what you have to do. Yeah. So it's a lot of, I don't know about you, the menuing is very unintuitive in this game. Like, I keep hitting buttons wanting menus to come up certain ways, and it's never the right ones.
I have that similar issue, but it's more of just they're doing it different, and to me it's a learning curve more so than it being unintuitive. Like I like that since you move around with the control stick, the D-pad isn't going to do anything. So down on the D-pad is the Pokedex. Up on the D-pad is your items menu, your license, your internet connections, and your settings. Like, I like how they have it set up, but I do occasionally, like, I want to go into my items menu, but I'll hit down instead, or I'll hit up, or but I'm mostly just checking my map all the time. That's really all I'm generally checking, which is minus.
Yeah, I would much rather have the like your menu stuff on the start button than have it on the D-pad. So you haven't gotten to the point where you have any transportation stuff yet, right?
Right.
So like once you get your forms of transportation, they actually get, so this is silly, they get assigned to the plus button, so your start button, but in order to cycle through them, you use left and right on the D-pad.
Okay.
Where I feel like if your menu options were on the plus button, like most games would have for bringing up a menu, then it would make a whole lot of sense that left and right on the D-pad cycles through your different transportations and up summons them.
Yeah, I mean, it would. It would make sense, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not. It's just, like I said, it's very unintuitive for me. I hit the wrong button almost every time I go to menu things, and it's not a huge deal because it is just the menu, and it pauses the game, so it's not like it's causing me to die or get attacked or anything. It's just, it's not good UI design, for a game that is otherwise actually pretty well designed. It looks bad. The game does not look great. It's got terrible pop-in, but it's a very interesting world compared to what we normally get out of Pokemon games.
The draw distance is rough. At one point, I had to hand in a quest, and I ran to where I had to hand in the quest, and it was not even handed in. It was to like start the quest, and there was no one there. And I was like, oh, I guess maybe I have to come back at night. And as I'm walking away, they pop in, and I'm like, oh god, okay,
yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I personally don't think the game looks that bad. It's just, the draw and rendering, it might be, is a bit of an issue, but, like, I don't think graphically it's an ugly game or anything. I think it's...
No,
I think it's
good. It's mediocre.
I think it's good for what it is. I think it's not, like, it's not dissuading me from playing it, and it's not going to be the best. It's obviously not going to be the best. You're playing it on the Switch. If it were on a different system, it probably could be a more powerful thing.
But like this looks mediocre for a Switch game.
See, I don't think so. I don't think it looks mediocre for a Switch game. I think it looks fine for a Switch game. I think it looks on par with, like, it looks a little, in my opinion, and I haven't really played too much of it, but in my opinion, it looks pretty much the same as Sword and Shield, if not a little bit better.
Which was, I mean, it looks exactly like Sword and Shield, and Sword and Shield is not a particularly good-looking game. Like, it looks like a Pokemon game. It doesn't look all that different from the ones before it. The models are just slightly more detailed. Mm-hmm. But, like, Nintendo has released games that look much better on that hardware. It's just, Pokemon, like, Game Freak does not push the boundaries when it comes to technology in the games. Like, they're definitely, the fact that they took this game and went so far left with everything is actually super impressive, because this is so different from any Pokemon game we've ever had before. Yeah. In so many good ways, that I would love it if Nintendo put out a console that actually had any sort of horsepower behind it, and that Game Freak actually took advantage of it. Because I think if both of those things happened with a system like this, like a more, like, refined, because it would be a new one, but, like, I think that could be an amazing game. And I'm like 15 to 20 hours into this game already. Like, I'm playing the hell out of it, and it has a lot of good. It's just like, that is not the good is not graphical fidelity.
Yeah, like I said, I agree. It's not the most graphically amazing game, but it's just, I also don't think it's the ugliest game. Like,
no, there are plenty of worse looking games.
To me, it's good. Like, it's fine for what it is, and, like, I don't, like I said, there are draw issues and whatnot, and we'll deal with those as we come across them, but I'm not gonna sit here and complain about the graphics, because I think it looks fine. To me, it's not complaint worthy.
I think it's complaint worthy. Especially, so there are like certain, of like your things for catching Pokemon that, involve catching them like in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, you can't fucking find them because the draw distance is so poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew there was a Gyarados in a certain area, like flying around, and I had to get as high as possible in the flight path before it would actually render into the game.
Yeah.
Even though, like, his actual flight path is super far. And have you gotten the feather balls yet?
I did just get the feather balls a little bit.
Have you used them?
No.
At all? So, they fucking fly. When you throw them, like, if you are throwing them at a Pokemon on the ground, you need to aim directly at it, or you're gonna overthrow it by a mile.
Uh-huh.
So they're great for hitting things high up in the air, or, like, really far away, but the draw distance is so poor in it that you usually aren't that far away from things before you can see them.
Yeah.
In some cases though, like if I've had a bunch of times where if you get in and it's drawn, you can then move back and they don't like get pulled out of the game.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like skirt around something and like back up at the same time so that like they're still in frame, but you are far enough away to hit them and use like those feather balls to like hit them from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Because some Pokemon are a bitch to get. Like, have you found Gravelers yet?
No, the further I'm not too far from the second camp. Like I kind of stopped. I started exploring and trying to catch the Wurmples and stuff after I unlocked the second.
Okay,
camp.
so you got second camp. So you fought the first like Red Eye Pokemon that like was like mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fought the first Alpha, and that's it. But it's and like yeah, it's the draw distance. Like I have agreed, it sucks. Everything else is not that big of a deal for me, at least. The story is
yeah. It's too handholdy, but it's a Pokemon game which is always handholdy, and because they've gone so different in this one, I feel like they're kind of holding your hand a little bit more.
Don't get me started about their hand-holdingness, where they tell you 3 fucking times, one in a box, like in a flashcard, and twice via dialogue, how to focus on a Pokemon. 3 fucking times in a row. It's not like 10, 20 minutes apart from each other. It's literally, hey, so if you walk up to a Pokemon and hit L or ZR or whatever button it is, you'll focus on that Pokemon. Oh, great, thanks. Flashcard. When you're going up to a Pokemon and you're hiding, you can press the button, blah, 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 and it tells you. And then you run forward like 10 fucking feet. Don't forget, you can press this button and it'll focus on the Pokemon. Shut the fuck up and let me play my goddamn game!
Yeah, like they were very aggressive with explaining every little system to you.
Yeah.
But once the game opens up though and you're kind of just free to do whatever, there's literally nothing stopping you from exploring an entire zone.
Yeah.
You never, they hold you back for that one instance where there's like the bridge, before you go fight that first alpha. They don't let you cross that one bridge until you're at least, I think, a rank 1.
Yeah.
But once you cross that bridge, you can explore the entire zone. And like, at one point I was just wandering around and there's like this cave system kind of to the north. And I ended up going through this whole cave. I found some Machops and some Zubats, and I think I actually even caught a Happiny in there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, I don't know that I'm supposed to be here, but nothing has been too strong yet, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ended up bringing me out on like the complete opposite side of the map, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I found like a fucking, an Alpha Snorlax when I was like level 15 and it was level 35. I'm like, well, not doing anything with you right now, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
And backed the fuck up.
Yeah. I'm having trouble at the moment. I have a quest to catch a big Buizel, and I cannot catch a Buizel big enough for this quest.
So that is the bane of everybody. There have been articles written about it. I like Facebook groups. I've seen people talking about it. It is damn near impossible to get because you basically have to get a Buizel that comes up with an extra large specimen or whatever the little tagline is.
It needs like 2.8 or bigger, and like the last time I caught a big one, it was 2.4, and he looked like he was a lot bigger than the one next to it.
Yeah. So where you're at now, and I don't know if this is 100% true. I did not manage to find one until I finished like basically the next quest you have to do, where you have to go do a thing with a tree. Or an area with a big tree, I should say. And then there is another beach that has them on it, that they're slightly higher level, and I caught a big one there.
Okay.
I don't know if that is that is where they come from or not, but it's still, it's like Quest 4, and you just can't fucking find those things anymore.
Oh, I'm having trouble with Quest 1 trying to find a fucking mushroom. Like, I don't know where to find this mushroom to get this recipe that the dude's trying to
they're just on the ground.
I have not seen it. I have not found it. Like,
that's because the draw distance is garbage.
I was told by somebody on stream, it's like, they're under trees. And I'm like, well, what trees? Well, you need to go further in the map. I'm like, all right. And I went further into the map. Still not under trees. And like, I'm going under all the trees and pressing the button. I can't fucking find these fucking mushrooms. And it's just like, I want these damn mushrooms.
So if you have, from the second camp, that's kind of like on that mountain in the middle of the map. If you go sort of northeast from there, that I believe is where your next quest should take you.
Yeah.
That's like a forest area. You're actually going to find some, what are the little brown bunny Pokemon? The one that turn into like the lady bunnies?
Bunnies.
Yeah. So you're going to find them. You're going to find Psyducks, Scythers, Beautifies, and Dustoxes and stuff. It's all a wooded area with like a stream through it, and there are definitely mushrooms up there.
Yeah.
You can also buy them.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to. I'm already having trouble with inventory space. Because
let's talk about the inventory.
Yeah.
Have you talked to the guy yet that will expand your inventory?
Here's my other gripe about this fucking game. Let me buy all the fucking inventory spaces I can afford at one time, instead of having to do it one at a fucking time. I sat there for 5.5 minutes pressing A to buy every space. Hey, we'll sell it to you for 100. We'll teach you for 200. We'll teach you for 300. And it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. So Drew, first Pokemon game ever where you have limited inventory.
Cool.
It's not just, normally Pokemon games, like your back is a fucking just unending supply of space.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, you have very limited item space, but the items can apparently stack forever.
Yeah.
I had almost 100 apricorns, or however you say them, the things that you need to make Pokeballs.
Yeah.
But there's a guy that you meet very early in like the Capitol building of the town.
I believe his name is Baggin.
Yeah, he will teach you how to be better organized so that you can fit more things in your bag by proper organization. In order to do this, he charges you for each space. So every time you talk to him, he's like, I will teach you how to fit one. He doesn't say it this way, but it's basically, I will teach you how to fit one more unique item in your bag for X amount of money. And it starts out at 100 and it just goes up every time. So it goes up by hundreds. And then once you get to, I think, 1,000, it starts going up by thousands. So I'm at the point now where it's like 11, 12,000 per item slot. And yeah, you can't do them in any sort of bulk. So the first time I went to him, I had like $20,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, I should have been able to just buy 10 spots from him. But instead, you do have to sit there and go through this like 30-second loop for each spot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I can teach you how to do this. Would you like to teach you how to do this? Yes. Okay, it's going to cost this much money this time. Okay. Screen goes dark. You do this. It plays a little music. Hey, look at how much space you can have. I can teach you how to have more space if you're interested. Yes. It'll be this much money this time. Okay, screen go, and it just loops that over and over, and you just have to keep saying, yes, show me one more spot until I'm out of money.
Yeah. And, I understand the having limited backpack space. The game is building itself on crafting. And so you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to grab, what you're going to carry. But it's just, and honestly, your item boxes aren't too infrequent. There's one at every camp. So you could just easily fast travel back to camp, drop a bunch of stuff off, and then go back out again. It's not that big of a deal. But the problem is fucking talking to goddamn fucking Baggin. I hate it. Just like, hey, I've got 3,000 Zenny. Alright, I can teach you how to have 12 spots, or whatever it is. It's, or just let me buy a fucking bigger backpack.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to complain about the fact that I have limited space, but don't give me one space at a time. give me enough space at a time.
Yeah, give like a row at a time or something like that. Or like you said before, let there be like, how many spaces do you want to buy, and just be able to hit the down arrow to just get as many spaces as possible.
Exactly. Exactly.
And, cause yeah, I'm fine with limited storage. Like, having to pick and choose what you want, cause this game is almost like, there's a little bit of like a survival aspect to it, where like, you are kind of in the past. You don't have as much luxury as you would have had before. This game is very set early on in, even though you fucking fell out of the sky and just know how to do all this stuff and carry around a fucking futuristic cell phone.
Yeah.
Nobody bats a fucking eye at your cell phone. They are dead set on you being, and also you are 15 in this game. This is, I believe, the oldest Pokemon protagonist, but you are a 15-year-old child with a cell phone in 19, early 1900s, Sinnoh region. And they're just like, oh, you can't live here unless you can pull your weight. Mm-hmm. If you can't pull your weight, we don't want you here. Go die in the fucking field with the Pokemon.
Yeah, 100%. And this game, at one point, I was going to get a story beat, and like you go into the main center of the town, Wallflower, and you walk in, and there's a quest board that you can go and check, and it'll tell you like, these people have quests for you, and one of the quests are, there's a Drifloon playing with children. And I was like, oh fuck, kids are gonna die. Let me go see what else is going on here real quick. And I go up and I fill all the markers. And then the entire time I'm yelling during all this conversation, I need to go help this kid from fucking dying. Let's stop with the talking. This kid is gonna die. I mean, obviously it was a side quest and it didn't really matter. I was just trying to be a little comedic. But like, constantly during that segment, you're getting stopped by everyone you talk to. You go up here, and you talk to these people, and you make a decision, and then you go over to the left, and then you have to talk to these people, and then you go downstairs, and you talk to these people, and as you're getting ready to leave, Baggin shows up. Fuck you, Baggin. And then as you get ready to leave again, the people that you were just talking to 3 floors up are now back downstairs, talking to you again. It's like, I need to go stop this kid from dying. Can we stop the kid from dying before you keep freaking interrupting me? Let's go.
Side quests don't matter. Come on now.
I know, but it's still, that's a dark side quest. Cause,
dude, how often have you read Pokédex entries?
Not too often. I just know one of the entries for Drifloon is that it will steal children, basically, and float away with them.
Yeah, like, Pokédex entries are fucking dark. So you have, like, the Drifloon steals children, Banette or whatever it is. It's like the doll Pokemon that was like the discarded doll of a child that came to life and now hunts children.
Yeah.
One of Mimikyu's Pokédex entries basically says the wind once blew up its costume and somebody saw it, and that person then went home and died painfully.
Yeah. It's
like Pokemon Company, Game Freak doesn't fuck around when it comes to those Pokédex entries. It's like, if you're old enough to read this, you can handle a little horror in your Pokemon game.
Which now I want a horror Pokemon game. Like, cause that's the other thing, that all of these people, cause they're new to the Hisui region, they're not used to a lot of these Pokemon. They're afraid of the Pokemon. You bring a Starly over to somebody and you ask them, do you want to pet the Starly? And they get scared and run away.
But they also wanted you to bring them the Starly because they think it's adorable.
Exactly.
So, like, I think this Pokemon is adorable from a distance. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know what? Give me this, but make it legit horror. Give me just a Pokemon Ghost Tower game where you're just getting scared the entire time. Yeah.
And because you just mentioned it, I do kind of like how they're dealing with the region and all. Like, so it's the Hisui region or whatever. Like I said before, you're essentially there with like an expedition team, and you are Galaxy Team, which is obviously a take on Team Galactic from the game, from Diamond and Pearl. But then the actual, like, the people from that area are the Pearl Clan and the Diamond Clan.
Yeah,
and they each worship Lord Sinnoh, which is like the Pokemon deity that they worship. And based on context clues of how they refer to them, they are obviously talking about Dalgia and Palkia and just don't realize that it is 2 different Pokemon that they worship.
Yeah.
They think that it is just one being that they are worshiping.
And just a little quick for you, Cobb, before you go to you haven't beaten the main story yet, right?
No, not yet. I am only in the I don't know how many areas open on the map, but I am in the second quest line of the second area.
Okay. There is a choice that you have to make at the end of the game as you go to the end of the game, and depending on the choice you make determines a Pokemon you get and a Pokemon you fight.
Okay, well that's cool. I have a minor spoiler for you, but I just want to get both of your reactions to this. So I just want to reiterate: this game takes place in the past.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least 100 years ago, probably more.
Mm-hmm.
Porygon is in this game.
Yeah, yeah. Porygon's in it. Absol's not in it, and that makes me mad because I love Absol. I don't.
Absol's actually a really cool Pokemon.
It is, and it hasn't really gotten any it was in Sword and Shield in the expansion, in the second expansion, I believe. Not even the first. When I stopped caring about collecting all the Pokemon.
You know what the problem is? Absol doesn't have an evolution, and most Pokemon without evolutions tend to kind of get pushed to the side because they don't get used all that often.
Yeah, they get no love. And honestly, I would love it if maybe Absol got a baby version. That would be good. It should. It's an awesome Pokemon. It needs to get some more love. But yeah, Porygon is in this, and Porygon 2 and Porygon 3. But that does make me laugh.
Wait,
but you also have your Arc phone, so.
Wait, so the Porygon evolutions are definitely in it?
Yes, because I googled the Pokedex to find out if Absol's in it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize the evolutions were in it. So there is actually a story relevant reason why a Porygon can appear.
Okay.
Because Porygon are digitally created Pokemon. Yeah. It says it in red and blue that they were created by a scientist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's the temporal rifts, and that's
okay. Yeah, no. So you got to that already.
Well, I haven't gotten to it, but I've seen it. There's when it comes to Pokemon, and it comes to a temporal rift or whatever. I don't fully consider that a spoiler, at least for me. I don't consider the Pokedex and the Pokemon spoilers in a Pokemon game.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't. I think that's part of a Pokemon game is knowing or thinking what Pokemon are in it. And story wise, all right, if you tell me how the whole entire story plays out, then I'll be all right, that's kind of a frustrating thing. But overall, I don't really play Pokemon to avoid spoilers, to avoid story content. I play it because I actually enjoy playing Pokemon. And these, catching the Pokemon and making the teams and everything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So, the Porygons show up in the temporal distortions, which you get little notifications when they're happening. They are fucking intense. I wandered into one. I didn't get more than 2 feet because Pokemon just mass spawn.
Yeah.
I walked into one and I immediately saw a Porygon and tried to catch it. And in the time it took me to, cycle through the balls I wanted to use to get to Great Ball. 8 other aggressive-ass Pokemon spawned around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to just throw a Pokemon out and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah.
And then run out of the temporal zone after I caught the few that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pretty big bubble, too. So, this was also, I hadn't really been using the first Pokemon you get to ride all that much. And I feel like had I been using them, I would have been able to run into it a little bit more and see what else was going on.
Yeah, I've seen things for them, and it is definitely interesting and intriguing. It helps you fill out your Pokedex and see a lot more of the Pokemon. And there's also occasional notifications that you'll get. I don't know if you've gotten this far, where there will be a horde of a certain type of Pokemon.
I actually have not I have not noticed them yet. But
you get notified of it. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's actually called. But from what I've seen and read, if you're gonna try to shiny hunt or whatever, those are your best ways to shiny hunt. Is to save before you go to it, and if there's no shiny Pokemon in the overworld there, you just reload and go back. And once it draws in all of the Pokemon and you see a shiny one, then you can save. Because every time you load after that save, it saves what was drawn in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like a shiny hunter. The game does give you a shiny as part of a side quest, which is neat.
Is it a shiny Bidoof?
No.
Then it's not worth it.
Bidoofs are fucking everywhere, though. You can definitely find a shiny one on your own.
I need a shiny Bidoof. I need the strongest Pokemon in the world.
Have you had the Bidoof side quest yet?
Yes, where you had to find them all in the town.
Yeah.
That was a
Man,
fun one.
that third one hiding in fucking plain sight next to the corral,
Yeah.
it took me fucking forever because he was brown and he was standing next to a brown fence in brown grass. He just blended the fuck in.
I ran by him twice and didn't see him both times because he wasn't drawn in.
Yeah.
And then
between the draw distance and him blending in, it was bad.
And then like the third time I ran by, I was even like talking on stream. I was like, I know I already been here. I know I already tried this, but draw distance is kind of rough. Maybe I just didn't see it or he didn't load in. And as I'm walking to the corner, I'm like, oh look, there he is. And I'm like, there's this little butt, and I find him and go get him. I do, because we've been on this for quite a while. I absolutely enjoy the game. I can't wait to play more. But I want to ask your opinion on the fact that it's not fully open world; it's open zone. Even though the zones are huge, how do you feel about the fact that it's not fully open world?
So I don't mind it being zones. Because like you said, it's very big areas. Fast travel is really good. Every time you get to like a new place, you basically get fast travel. Excuse me. I think it's in zone 2. I found like this random village that I didn't know was going to be there. And as soon as I got there, it became a quick travel spot. So like getting back and forth to places, the only sort of annoyance is you can't change zones from zones. You have to go back to the city and then travel to the zone.
Yeah,
and
that was when I found out that you can't just go back to the city. You have to report to the professor before you go back to the city. I was just like, that's kind of annoying.
That is a little annoying, but I tend to go back to him anyway, because if I'm done and I want to go back to the city, I want to turn in all the Pokemon I got so that I can get credit. Like I'm up to, I want to say I'm rank 5 or 6 right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just because I just keep going through, and basically anytime I'm out, I catch everything I see if I can. And if I know that I have something already like 100%ed, I just start battling it when I see them, because there's some Pokemon in my party that have like recently evolved or something like that I still need to get to level 10, and that's battling's the easiest way to do that.
Yeah.
A couple other things that I want to hit on. I really like that you get to pick when things evolve. So you have to hit their requirement, whether it be level or friendship or what have you. But once they're ready to evolve, you just get a little notification that Pokemon is ready to evolve, and you can just go in and hit evolve when you're ready.
Yeah. Their Pokeball will glow, and you can just go hit evolve. And it's also the same with move sets. You can swap out move sets on the fly outside of combat. You can't swap them out in combat, but you can swap out movesets outside of combat. And if a move runs out of PP, you can swap that out for a different move that has PP in it. While you're out in the overworld before you go like rest.
I don't want any moves with PP in it though. That seems gross.
You know what I mean.
But I'm bumps.
Look,
that was terrible.
That's Game Freak's choice for making a game geared for children and calling the power PP. That's their fault. But I like that if you were to switch out the moves, you don't lose the move you switched. You don't need to go find a specific person to reteach you the moves. You just have to switch out the moves next time again. And so it's easier to build up a party and a group having all the moves available to you and knowing like, oh, you know what? I should go back and maybe use this defensive move and that move and blah, 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 and actually set things up instead of having to worry about talking to somebody to reteach a move and only doing it one at a time. And like, I liked it. And overall,
I actually didn't realize you could do it on the fly like that. I thought you had to go talk to the person to do it.
No,
I do it a lot, but that changes things a whole bunch.
I've seen and that's like, cause one of the videos I watched was a YouTube channel called GameRanks, and they did a 10 things, or I guess it was 10 things, or X amount of things that Pokemon Legends Arceus does not tell you. And that's one of them, is that you can change the moves on the fly. You can also swap out the move that has no more power on it for a move that does. It's just you can't do it in combat. That is it.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'm going to have to check that out after we're done. Cause yeah, I've just been going back to like the base camps, talking to the person there that lets you actually change your party.
Yeah.
And just doing change moves there. I honestly hadn't even thought to just go into the Pokemon's, like inventory thing and try it from there, but I'm definitely going to do that now. But yeah, that is a game changer because it also gives you the opportunity to like try out different moves that you maybe wouldn't have tried otherwise. And in some cases, in order to rank up your Pokemon for the Pokedex, it says, like, see this move used X amount of times. And, like, Baby Doll Eyes is one of them for the Eevee evolutions. I think it might just be Eevee, actually.
Yeah.
But I never use that move. It's not a move that I find useful. But it's like, okay, well, now I can throw it on them and go use it a few times to get, like, the points for that.
Yeah.
And it's not actually hurting me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't take, you don't have to go to a certain city or to a certain person to switch them out. You just easily do it on the fly, and it's just, like, overall, they made a lot of good quality of life changes for a Pokemon game that's set in the past that I really, really hope they hold on to. But it's Game Freak. They're probably not gonna.
Yeah, but you're right, though. The whole catching mechanic is good. You know, being able to sneak up on Pokemon, catch them just in the wild. If you do have to battle them, the battle is seamless. Like,
yeah.
You throw up, you change whether you're throwing items or throwing Pokemon. You just throw a Pokeball out, that Pokemon pops out, and it's immediately into battle. There's not like a weird transition or pause or anything.
Running away is not RNG anymore. You hit run.
You just run away.
you hit run, they collect the Pokemon, and you run. Like, I encountered, like, a level 30, something. I think it was a Dustox. Not realizing it was as high level as it was in the region that I was. And, like, I tried to fight it, and it took out my Rowlet immediately, and I was like, fuck. Alright, run away, and just run away, and you just run. And that's it. Like, it's not RNG anymore, but it's a little bit, maybe potentially skill-based, because it's an aggressive Pokemon. It's probably going to attack you while you're running. You're going to have to dodge out of the way, potentially, or something like that.
Yeah, and, like, that stuff's super cool. Like, so you haven't gotten to it yet, but the first noble Pokemon that you have to interact with, it's not a Pokemon battle. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a completely different mechanic that, it's their boss fights. Like, there are no gyms, there's no Elite Four, there's really not even trainer battles. Like, occasionally you get challenged by people to, like, kind of see if you're the hot shit that people keep saying you are.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you're not just bumping into Pokemon trainers in the wild. So you have these do you remember in Sun and Moon, the, like, Island Guardian Pokemon?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a take on them, but because of all the weird shit going on, they're in, like, a frenzy. And, like, one of the things you do is you kind of help calm them down, and it's, like, different mechanics. Like, you can throw a Pokemon out to battle them if there's an opening to, but if there's not an opening, you're actually, like, pattern recognition and, like, dodging their attacks to do other things to them to calm them down. Mm-hmm. Like, it's super different and actually really cool.
Yeah, They did a lot of good with this game. I hope they hold on to the stuff that people enjoy. But we'll just have to wait and see for the next iteration of Pokemon games. Yeah,
and I'll probably have a little bit more to say after I get, like, through the rest of it in the next week or so.
Yeah.
Because it's apparently only about 20 to 30 hours to get through, like, the story.
Yeah, the main story is not too long, 20 or 30 hours, and then all the, but then there is, like, similar with Sword and Shield and most other games, there's, like, that post-game story stuff and whatnot. And then catching all the Pokemon and finishing out your Pokedex. There's a lot of content for this. It is a game that I am not playing strictly just on stream. Like, it's one of those, I fell into a little funk with, Monster Hunter Stories where I still haven't beaten the game. I really need to go back and beat it. But, like, I wasn't really feeling it after a while because I was playing it once a week. That, like, I need to dedicate actual time into playing this for me to feel comfortable with it, or to not be bored of it after a while. So it's definitely a game I'm going to be playing on my own and not specifically just on stream and stuff.
And at least you can kind of, like, you can play it on your own and say just explore and catch Pokemon and save the actual narrative stuff for your streams.
Yeah.
This way, like, you're playing it, you're enjoying it, but, like, you're showing the progression on your stream if you want to.
Yeah, maybe. Like, we'll see. The next thing. There's not a lot I can do right now without going to the next thing. So, unless I play it on stream tomorrow, I'd have to do it anyway, which I'm probably not going to be playing on stream.
That's fair. But I guess we have gone very long on this. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
Go. Let's get to Silent Hill. Silent Hill. Is that good? Is that good? Do I need to do it again?
Close enough.
Okay.
Book club this week is the 2006 blockbuster movie Silent Hill, starring Sean Bean.
Let me tell you. This game was a letdown. Or not game. This movie was a letdown. For one reason and
Hold
one
on.
reason. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
finish. This movie was a letdown for one reason and one reason only. Sean Bean is still alive.
You know what? We don't fucking know that.
We do. Because
Do
they're in limbo.
Do we?
Rose and Sharon are in limbo, and he's in the real fucking world, okay?
Is he?
He's still
Maybe
alive.
he's in hell. Maybe he's in hell.
Well, he
I
is
don't
in
know.
hell.
This movie tells you fucking nothing.
He is in hell because his daughter and wife are missing, and he'll never see them again.
No, you want to know what's great, guys?
What?
So there's a sequel to this movie that came out in 2012 called Silent Hill Revelations. It's a direct sequel. Sean Bean is in it as this same guy. Somehow the daughter gets out. The wife doesn't, though. She's dead. She's gone. You never see her in the sequel. It's a different actress playing the daughter.
Yeah.
And they have different names because they are on the run from the cult from this movie. But as that movie progressive, you find out that she is Sharon and he is whatever his name was.
They're on the run from the cult that they killed at the end of this movie.
They only killed the branch that had gone into purgatory in Silent Hill. That cult was apparently global.
Oh my god. That's, oh my goodness. Oh boy.
But look, Jon Snow is in the sequel.
Alright, maybe, I honestly always wanted to see it, because I know they modeled the girl in the sequel after one of the girls in the games.
The girl in the sequel looks a little bit like the blonde from Silent Hill 3?
Yeah. And I never got to see that one. And, I'll be 100% honest, and even now, I didn't hate this one. I didn't hate this movie. Obviously, it's not a blockbuster masterpiece or anything like that, but it has its merits. They did a really good job with sound design in this movie. Really good job with sound design and music, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think for a movie from 2006, it actually, the special effects are actually pretty good in it, too.
Yeah.
It's visually, a pretty, they did some cool shit with what they could do that long ago.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't look great today, but, watching it through that lens, it's oh no, the monsters and stuff in this movie are super fucking creepy,
yeah.
And I get that.
And
also, I just double checked, and it looks like, Silent Hill 3 definitely, they definitely kind of wrapped both movies around, the Silent Hill 1 and 3 a little bit. Because Silent Hill, 3, they actually go by the names, that they do in the movie. So, Sean Bean's character is Harry Mason in the second movie. And that's the girl's father's name in Silent Hill 3. So
Okay.
yeah, they were definitely going with that. And the girl in Silent Hill 3 was the baby left at the church at the end of the first Silent Hill. So, Alessa, she is Silent Hill. Holy shit. So Silent Hill the movie is really Silent Hill 3 the game.
Yeah. Is there a corgi in a control room in Silent Hill the movie? The movie?
No. What is that from? I can't remember what the corgi's from.
Literally Silent Hill 3, I believe. There is an alternate or a secret ending where there is a corgi in a control room, and that's how it all happened.
Oh yeah, so 3 endings appear in the game. The normal ending, which is the only ending available on the first playthrough of the game, sees Heather and Douglas survive, while in the possessed ending, Heather kills Douglas. In the revenge ending, which is a joke ending accessible by performing certain in-game actions, Heather reunites with Harry, and Harry orders UFOs to blow up Silent Hill.
Okay,
so it wasn't Silent Hill 3, but I imagine it was a Silent Hill.
I believe it's 2 then. Because the joke ending in Silent Hill 3, that alien ending is done all in comic strip cartoony.
It is Silent Hill 2, the joke ending where James discovers that a dog has been controlling all the events in the game.
Yeah.
And the UFO where James is abducted by extraterrestrials with the help of the first game's protagonist, Harry Mason.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But
I don't see. As far as the movie goes, this was high cinema. This was up there with Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane, Fast and Furious 5.
Fucking trash.
This
movie's so bad.
That is such. I honestly can't agree with that take, Jordan. It is not hot trash. It's not so fucking bad. Trust me. If I'm choosing this week's book club, if Jordan's not and I am,
I'm not
me.
on the next book club episode unless we're pushing it a
Damn
week.
It.
So pick whatever the fuck you want.
No, we'll push it a week. We're not going to do this without you, Drew.
Yeah. The kaiju movie we watched, way better than this fucking movie. Infinitely better than this fucking movie.
But I strongly disagree that this movie's not hot garbage. It is very edgy, very early 2000s. And like,
but this is mid-late 2000s. It's 6 years too late for early 2000s.
I mean, look, I still consider that. 2006 is still early 2000s, man. Come on now.
No, it's not. It's mid. Actually, no, it's late. It's late 2000s.
But it's definitely it is definitely a product of its time, and I'm not saying that as a good thing, but it is not garbage. There are definitely redeemable qualities about it. There are some really stupid things about it as well. But overall, like it is an enjoyable like I would have no problem sitting down and watching this movie by myself again. Like, this is not like a Velocipaster situation where the only time you're going to be happy watching this movie is with people making fun of it. Or, go ahead.
Like, for me, this is on par quality with Velocipaster, Alone in the Dark, garbage-ass movies that should never be watched. Like...
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, this was not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It was infinitely better than Alone in the Dark.
Maybe, but like 0 times infinity is still 0.
Yeah. It is at least better than every U-Bowl movie.
Probably, but again, like you're comparing it to like the worst shit that's ever existed. Anything is good compared to it.
It's also, from what I've seen online, it is arguably also better than the most recent Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There we go.
Again, comparing it to bad things does not make it good.
No, Drew, you can't not like wrestling. That's your thing.
Oh, no. I have often said wrestling is bad.
No, you don't say that ever. No, me and Richie say it's bad, but Richie
loves wrestling. What are you talking about?
Richie is almost a wrestling fan.
No. Look, I will say that based on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, this movie did rate worse than Sharknado, which, I mean...
No, this movie is worse than Sharknado. It is worse than Sharknado.
I mean...
Sharknado is bad, but it's so bad it's good. This movie had, like, the only redeeming quality was that, like, it looked fine. It was technically a solidly produced movie with terrible storytelling, terrible acting, terrible everything. It's a bad movie that looked nice.
Look, Silent Hill, critic score, not audience score, better than Fast and Furious.
Review how
almost better than Too Fast, Too Furious.
How many reviews does Fast and the Furious have, and how many reviews does Silent Hill?
103 for Silent Hill, 177 for Fast and Furious.
Okay, not that huge of a difference. If you told me it was 170 to 50, then it's almost a moot point. Like,
no, I mean you're not wrong there, but keep in mind too that like Silent Hill came out like it was a quote unquote major theatrical release. Like it had known people in it. It wasn't just like it wasn't a U-Bowl movie.
Alone in the Dark has plenty of well-known people in it.
Oh right, doesn't that one have like Christian Slater in it or something?
Yeah, and fucking who is the woman plays a scientist that has no right playing a scientist? Oh, fucking, isn't it Tara Reid?
Probably. Oh yeah, no, yeah, Tara Reid, an archaeologist and museum curator.
Yeah,
and Christian Slater, Stephen Dorff. Man, yeah, I forgot that movie actually had some people in it.
Yeah, it fucking had a lot of fucking.
But then, like, you have like some of his other movies that were just had nobody.
Oh,
but anyway,
yeah. Because he made Alone in the Dark, and it sucked shit, and then he kept just getting licenses to make other movies, but not the budget to actually get people to be in it.
That's right. I really wanted us to watch Blood Rain, but that's not available anywhere.
God.
But like that one has a cast too.
Does it?
Michael Madsen, Billy Zane, Meatloaf, Michelle Rodriguez, fucking Ben Kingsley. Kingsley is in Blood Rain. Come on. But yeah, Silent Hill, I guess. It was certainly a film. I didn't think it was not good, but it wasn't that bad.
So when I watched it today, like, I haven't seen.
Oh,
the
that's true.
movie.
You did watch it the most recently.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen the movie since 2006, 7, 8, something like that. And
Damn, you watched it 3 years in a row? Good for you.
well, no, since around that, like I know I watched it in 06 when it came out in theaters, and I believe I've watched it like once or twice since then. I don't really know. But I've seen it several times. Like I said, I don't think this is a hot garbage movie. But like the girl, I was like, I've seen her before. Not in Silent Hill. What have I seen her before? She played a ghost in a Supernatural episode.
Wow.
In the first in the first season of Supernatural, she played a ghost, and then she played a character in the last season of Supernatural as well.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the cop was Andrea from the first 4 seasons of Walking Dead.
Yeah, was that Andrea?
Oh, that's who
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, it was Laurie Holden. And the one cop, the cop that like is with Sean Bean, he's from Sons of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
But I will, you know what? I do have to give credit. That little girl, very good job being sadistic, creepy little girl when she's the dark Alessa.
When she's sitting there and the blood is raining down from
And she's fucking dancing in it.
and she's sitting there just dancing in it. Yeah.
But even her like the exposition dump near the end of the movie, to the mother, she does a very good job of being just unsettling.
Yeah.
And like, she was young enough that like, that could have easily not actually been creepy.
Yeah, true.
So like, good for her. I don't think she has done much since.
She's done a lot since.
Other than some supernaturals.
No, she's done a lot since. I was just on her IMDb. She's done, I think it looks like at least one thing a year every year since 06.
Oh yeah, look at that. She's done a lot of like TV stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she is the voice of the little sisters in BioShock 2.
In like the DLC or some shit like that.
No, in all of it. BioShock 2, Protector Trials, and Minerva's Den. Look, it's not BioShock 1, so it doesn't matter as much. But okay, yeah. No, but she has done some stuff.
Yeah.
So, good for her, I guess. So being that it's been a while since you guys had seen Silent Hill, are you going to go watch the sequel just to find out what happens to Sean Bean?
Absolutely not.
Maybe. Maybe. Like I said, I've always wanted to watch the sequel, just never have. And I believe I'm still subscribed to Starz for another 6 days, so I might.
Oh, did you just do the free trial?
Yeah, of course. And I canceled it as soon as I got done watching it.
Yeah, I paid the $3 or whatever it was to just rent it.
Nah.
I didn't want to have to. I didn't feel like having to deal with canceling a subscription.
So, funnily enough, one of my friends on Facebook actually posted about Silent Hill 2 today.
The movie or the game?
Yeah, the movie. It takes 43 minutes in a 95-minute movie for them to get to Silent Hill.
Yep.
In the second one.
Oh yeah, no, the second one is also not good.
The second one is a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. I was looking at that a little bit ago.
But look, I mean, Alone in the Dark has a 1%, so...
I'll be honest, I've never seen Alone in the Dark. At least I don't think
I have. It fucking sucks.
That movie just ends.
Uh-huh.
Like stuff is happening, and then all of a sudden there's credits. There's no conclusion. There's no wrap up. It's just it's 98 minutes of just disjointed acting. I feel like they didn't even have a script. I think like U-Bowl was just kind of like, just chat about things in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the movie. And then at a certain, they did it for 98 minutes, and then he was just like, all right, now Christian Slater, climb out of this hole, and then we're going to roll credits.
Nice.
Yeah, that movie. Apparently the sequel, while not good, is apparently a better, more cohesive story, because apparently there is actually a story.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. That was one, like, I almost had that on the list too, but much like Blood Rain, not available streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer, because that movie would have been just horrendous. I'm sorry. It is streaming places. It is not streaming on anything that any of us use. It's on, like, Vudu and Tubi or Tubi or
Tubi,
whatever.
I believe, is free.
All of these are free with ads, and I'm not watching fucking commercials. It's
I'm not making that
2022.
movie 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, it's 2022. I don't watch commercials. I forget we were doing something the other day, and, like, just turned, like, I think Erica just put on regular TV. It might have been actually, it might have been last week when I was getting ready to come up for this or something like that, where like there was no reason to put on like anything like normal.
Mm-hmm.
It was the regular TV was on for maybe 5 minutes before a commercial came on, and she just immediately turned it off and went to Netflix and started something because she did not want to deal with just constant commercial breaks.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that is the state of the country at this point. No one wants to deal with fucking commercials. But I guess anything else you guys want to say about Silent Hill?
No, like I said, I didn't think it was hot garbage. I think they did a good job with the sound design, and the music really helps build tension and kind of suspense in a bit. Yes, it's a broken story and doesn't really make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it doesn't really not make sense either. You gotta, it's not, again, I don't think it's hot garbage. I'm not gonna say it's good, I just don't think it's hot garbage.
It's far too long.
No,
way too long.
Yeah.
That is 100% true.
Movie should have been 80 minutes, not 128 or whatever. Yeah. Like, fucking cut 45 minutes out of that movie, and it's better, probably.
It did not need to be longer than 2 hours, even if it was only 5 minutes longer. They did not have enough story to tell.
Nope.
Especially when the story, it doesn't even have, like, a satisfying ending.
Absolutely not.
Like, I think it'd be different if, like, it ended and, like, that cliffhanger bit at the end was, like, all, like, you were actually concerned about it. But because it kind of ends in a way where, like, it seems like everything's okay. And then it ends with, like, oh, yeah, no, everything's not okay. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like a solid, 100 minutes would have probably been good for that movie. Like,
sure.
Like, they could have cut out a lot of the bullshit in the middle and had it just kind of be a little more streamlined. Probably could have gotten down to 90 minutes if they tried real hard. But I think 100 minutes could have been, like, a solid story.
Honestly, just take out the cop. She was not needed.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
she was pretty worthless.
Like, she was really just there as a thing to see die for the mom to get there and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah. Like, she absolutely was not needed.
But, she didn't need to be there and die for that, because, like, they could have just had the girl on the thing ready to be sacrificed and get the same fucking point.
Yeah, but they had to show us the special effects of her skin slowly charring and blistering and bubbling until she finally just actually burst into flames.
The thing that was, like, actually the worst CG effect in the entire movie.
Yeah, exactly.
No, her death was the worst CG. Like, her entire death was the worst CG effect in the entire movie. Like, that was the dumbest, like, death scene. Like, how she died and her acting for her death was so bad. Like, you don't, like, I've never been burned to death, so I don't know. But you don't just die once fire touches you. You die from the pain and being engulfed in flames. You are engulfed in flames for some time. And at some point, you actually don't feel it anymore because all of your nerve endings are fucking burnt to shit.
Well,
like, and you're just burning.
Maybe you should stop backseat acting and go find out what it's actually like to be engulfed in flames before you make these sort of criticisms.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do the research, and I will act better than Laurie Holden did in a fire scene. I promise you,
dude. You know what my favorite like what fire does to human body story is? People got really mad at Kevin Smith. At one point he wrote a Batman story.
Uh-huh. And
in that story, Batman is talking to this other vigilante, and he explains basically that he peed himself once.
Okay.
It was during like a fire. He rushed into a burning building to like save a kid or something, like, you know, something fucking heroic. And when that happened, there was like a backdraft and he peed. And people got really mad at Kevin Smith for writing that. But it turns out that like that's a real thing. Firefighters often have that happen when they run into a blazing building. Something about the heat, you actually don't realize that you pee yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's not always a lot, but like you'd pee a little bit when you're surrounded by super intense flames.
I mean, I pee a little bit when I'm surrounded by something that just scares me a lot too. So come on now.
I mean, you're basically always peeing a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. It's
you just have like a slow leak the way like an old faucet does.
I look at my stream statistics and it says 11 viewers. I'm like, oh, I just peed a little. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that bit just ending there. I was just waiting for more.
Oh man, that reminds me. I still have to send Tim that weird sound you make between words.
Oh, I've heard myself do it a few times.
No, I isolated it from
Yeah.
the bonus action recording.
Yeah, I know.
I happened to find a really good one like almost right away, and it actually has like a nice little rhythm to it where like if he does want to make it into like the bass track on something, I think it would actually work all right.
Yeah.
Maybe not the bass track, maybe like a snare, like a.
Yep. I gotta stop with that. I caught myself at one point doing it earlier today, and I was just like, shit, gotta stop. Anyway.
It's fine.
Anyway.
But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about The Legend of Vox Machina?
Well, do we want to pick the next book club first?
Oh yeah, fuck, right.
So it's going to be in 3 weeks, so that Jordan can watch it. Jordan, do you have any idea what you might want us to watch?
No.
No?
You don't want to have us watch Silent Hill 2 Revelations?
God, no.
You know, I'll go easy on us. I was going to go pretty hard on us after watching Silent Hill. I'll go a little easy on us. It's still going to go pretty hard on us, but it's still going to go easier. We're going to watch Fantastic Four from 2015.
What is that available on?
Disney.
Is it? Okay.
I'm 99% sure it is. I Googled it the other day because I had realized, like, oh shit, I've never seen it and I kind of want to watch it. And I added it onto my list of potential book club ideas. And I searched it and...
It is in fact on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
so you're good there. So I have seen this. I went and saw this in the theater.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I know you did, Cobb. Jordan, I know you didn't. And it's just, you know what? I heard differing things about it. Some good, some bad. I want us to talk about it better than what we probably talked about it back when we saw it, when you saw it 7 years ago, Cobb.
So, Drew, you know how you said this was the Silent Hill was just a big pile of garbage and maybe one of the worst movies you've ever seen?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four is worse. Fantastic Four almost makes me think that Alone in the Dark was a good movie.
Y'all are just trying to make me never watch another movie ever again.
Would you
Is that
rather...
what the plan is?
Would you rather me say we have to watch Ape vs. Monster that's on Amazon Prime?
Wait, what is that one about?
Just
Maybe.
Look up
Maybe.
Ape vs. Monster.
I am intrigued now.
I'm going to give you guys a second to look up Ape vs. Monster. It came out in 2021.
Oh, God.
That movie does not look like it came out in 2021. Wait, does this have fucking Eric Roberts and Ariana Grande in it?
I don't know. I don't really know the cast. Ariana Scott.
It does have Eric Roberts in it. So I will throw this out there.
Oh, this is the company that makes Sharknado and Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. So it's probably more. I don't know. They got real bad after like Sharknado 2.
Or I'm going through IMDb. There's a Sex Squatch 2. Teen Ape vs. Sex Squatch.
So I will say this. I think the Fantastic Four movie is bad enough that it's funny.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's actually humorous how bad it is. 'Cause it's just, they had no fucking clue what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's kinda hilarious, and I think it would be interesting to talk about. But like, you kinda it's definitely a movie you have to go into knowing that it is a bad movie, and just kinda lean into how fucking bad it is and how bad the acting is.
Mm-hmm.
Except, you know what? Except Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, very fucking good as Johnny Storm.
He's a good actor no matter what. You can make him act as a paper towel, and he'd be the greatest actor.
Yeah, we'll say out of the two franchises of Fantastic Four we've gotten, both Johnny Storms been A-okay.
Yeah.
Everyone else, meh.
Yeah. But yeah, that I want to do that. I thought about maybe I'll go light on us in a couple of weeks, and we can maybe do Birdman. Or I wanted to do Alien vs. Predator and then eventually do Alien vs. Predator 2, but I don't think I can find that on streaming anywhere. So I'll have to do some more
That's a
research
bummer.
on this.
That first Alien vs. Predator movie, like, not a good movie,
Yeah.
but like pretty entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize because I never seen AVP 2 that like there's an Alien Predator hybrid in that movie.
Yeah, and that one takes place in like a mountain town or some shit. Like the first one takes place in like an underground ruin that's discovered in Antarctica.
Yeah.
And the second one is like a little mountain town like outside of Colorado or something fucking weird like that. It looks like Requiem, the second one, is on Amazon, like streaming.
Mm-hmm.
AVP, the first one, it's on Amazon, but it's a $4 rental.
Yeah.
So,
So we just paid for a rental. We'll do a couple free ones for a while before we do a paid one.
yeah, for that. And I will, like, because this was not a great movie, my next pick, like, I am going to try and find something, like, just, like, entertaining that, like, we can all kind of agree is, like, mostly entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like I said, Birdman is definitely on there, on the list, but that's also another one of those rentals that we'd have to. I've never watched Birdman, and I've heard great things about it.
I watched it years ago when it first came out. I don't remember much of it, but I do remember it being interesting.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's move on to The Legend of Vox Machina.
All right. Do you want to go ahead?
Well, yeah, so obviously we all know that I'm a super big fan of D&D and Critical Role. I've talked about it multiple times. I've been super excited for...
What a nerd.
Yep, I've been super excited for the Legends of Vox Machina series that they kickstarted. I was so mad that I didn't have the money to help fund anything at the time, because I wanted a lot of their backer stuff that you would have gotten. I wanted the dagger envelope opener. I really wanted that. And the Trinket plushie, because Trinket's adorable. Drew, did you watch Legend? I think you already said no, right? You didn't watch it?
No.
Okay. But, yeah, so the first 3 episodes were released, which is what the original series was going to be, just the 3. Then they added all the extra stuff because of all the, extra, I can't remember the words for it. I don't know Kickstarter too. Stretch goals.
They went well and beyond what their goal was and had a bunch of stretch goals.
Yes. And so the first 3 episodes are the quote original story, or at least the first 2 are the quote original story. Because based on what my understanding was, they were supposed to go into an original story. Nothing that was ever really mentioned or talked about in the original campaign, whereas what it was a prequel to the original campaign, like them becoming the heroes of Iman, the city that they're in. But there's essentially, it can be looked at as there's like a huge time jump between Legend, like between episode 2 and episode 3, to stick with the timeline of Vox Machina in Critical Role season 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's because where episode 2 ends off, them getting the keep and everything, like campaign 1, they already had the keep. And when they jump into campaign 1, they're on a quest to a dwarven city and into an Underdark adventure that takes a good portion of maybe like 10 to 12 episodes before they get to Iman again, and then go with the whole Briarwood arc that they're doing in the series. So there could technically have been a time jump or something, a reasonable reason as to why we don't see these. They just time jumped. That was also like a side quest. It really didn't matter because in campaign 1, they get the Horn of Orcus, which never comes into play ever again. If it came into play, it would be important to show, but it doesn't. And whereas this first 2 episodes lead into the arc after the Briarwood arc. So it is kind of important to know about these first 2 episodes. And since they have a second season, they go into season 2 with potentially the Chroma Conclave. With that, the first 3 came out, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
They were super well done. It was a lot of fun. It was fun picking out, like, as somebody who didn't watch the original campaign at all, I knew who some of the people were character-wise, but I didn't know who all of them were. So, like, picking out whose voices was who, and then doing that with some of the, like, the other characters, like David Tennant as, like, that Scottish, guard guy.
Yeah, he played, Grimfang? I can't remember the name.
He basically sounded like Uncle Scrooge with a gruffer voice.
Yeah, when I found out that they got David Tennant, I was blown away.
I don't know. He seems like he just likes doing fun stuff. So.
Yeah, probably. That'd be awesome if he were like a Critical Role fan. I doubt it, but it would be awesome if he were.
You know, one or something of his kids maybe.
General Krieg is who David Tennant voiced. We also, like, for some of the voices that you might not you might know the actual people, but you might not know the character. Stephanie Beatriz plays Lady Kima. Stephanie Beatriz is from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And now, what character was that?
The dwarf, the dark skinned dwarf, female who was with Lady Allura.
Okay.
So she plays a paladin of Bahamut, basically, and Lady Kim is awesome. She is exactly Stephanie Beatrice's character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, essentially. You have Carrie Payton, who's playing Sovereign Uriel. David Tennant was General Krieg. Indra Varma, who plays Lady Allura. Indra Varma played the paramour to Oberyn in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Grey Griffin plays Delilah Briarwood. I don't remember who she is. Who Grey Griffin has played in the past. And Sunil Malhotra plays Sean Gilmore. And then also one that's not named, I'm just going off their Wikipedia, one that was not named, the guard captain who is killed in episode 2 by the dragon is voiced by Felicia Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So they got a bunch of different voices, and I'm happy that they got Mercer to do Lord Silas Briarwood. I was afraid that they were going to get somebody else, but they got him, which really makes sense. They also have him voicing a bunch of different characters. One cool thing is there is a character, from what I've read and understand, there's a character that looks like Mercer in every episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you see that in at least episode 1 and 2, you see that character. It's unknown if it's supposed to be the same character, but in episode 2, I believe I also saw one that looked just like Mercer. So they kind of hid him in there. It's his world kind of thing. And somebody asked, like, was this intentional? And they were like, it's 100% intentional. Keep an eye out. And so it's like they're hiding him in all of these episodes, which is it's a cool little thing. And I will say the animation sometimes is a little off for me.
That's that studio. 'Cause I think it's a Titmouse.
Yeah, Titmouse
production, right?
Yes.
And like that's just I personally don't like their animation all that much, but like they seem to be like a go-to anymore, especially for like this sort of stuff. But it works. Like it's not bad animation. It's just not something that I am personally a big fan of.
Yeah. So like the problem that like I wasn't that like made me a little uncomfortable were like the scenes where they're standing still, where like you see Vox Machina standing still, but like they're in the background. They don't look, but they're still close enough to where they should have been slightly more detailed. They don't look like they're detailed enough. They don't look like they're like animated enough. They look kind of blurred. Or not blurred, but like look dull. And there was like 1 or 2 scenes where like I couldn't help but look at like Scanlan or Pike, and like because they're smaller, they're off to the side, they're not in focus and whatnot, and it's just like that just doesn't look right. Like animation, like fluidity feels all fine and everything, but like it's more the stationary shots that felt a little off for me.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that. Yeah, and honestly, the animation, while Titmouse didn't also do it, there was animation, for, Invincible that, like, kind of reminded me of that. Like, it's not that it's bad animation, it's just not super fluid, so it kind of, at times, just looks a little off.
Yeah, and it's weird that the fluidity kills it in static shots and not in, like, actual animated, like, fluid shots. I will say, I understand if people don't fully like it because it is a lot of fan service to Critical Role. That, like, if you go into this not having known anything or watched Critical Role or Campaign 1, it does make a little bit of sense that you're not, like, fully into it right away.
I don't know, so I've never watched anything related to the first campaign, and, like, I thought it was super enjoyable. Like, it was funny, it was crude, but then, like, there were bits where, like, it had heart, and, like, it opens up very fucking aggressively.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's, like, during the fight with the dragon, Grog goes, I would like to rage, and he rages, and there's instances where, to me, I'm like, I love this because I'm a fan of Campaign 1. And I understand if people don't pick out these parts that I love. And, like, maybe if they don't like it as much as I do, because I'm liking it for my love of these original characters and how they're holding true to it, not as much for the show itself in a way.
Yeah, and so to be fair, like Erica watched these 3 episodes with me, and like when he did the I would like to rage thing, like she actually thought that was super cool, not because she has any familiarity with that first campaign,
Yeah.
but because like he was saying the thing he was going to do.
Yeah. And that's but like whenever he would rage, whenever Travis would rage as Grog, he would say, I would like to rage. And so that's like the little throwback to that. And there were a couple of other the troll dick, when they found the troll dick in the hoard of the dragon. That was also a callback to Vox Machina. Because they, before stream, killed a troll and cut off its dick, and had a rotten old troll dick in their bag of holding the entire campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other sort of callbacks they did that, like, it's obvious they're not going to get fully into it. I will say I am a little bummed out that, they don't have, and I knew they weren't going to, they originally said they weren't going to, but they don't have Tiberius in this. But, like, it wouldn't make sense.
Who's Tiberius?
So he was the Dragonborn, sorcerer from Campaign 1 who was only in, say the first, less than the first 50 episodes of Campaign 1. And there were, I'm not going to speculate too much because Critical Role actually openly asks people not to speculate, not to try to figure it out. But there were issues with the actor Orion Akiba and the rest of the cast that he ended up not showing up anymore and not playing anymore. And so eventually, after like 2 or 3 sessions of him not being there, Mercer like had his character disappear. But then there's like a moment with his character later on in the Dragon arc, in the Chroma Conclave arc, that like is like a powerful moment. But you don't get to like, you're not going to have that in the series if they do go with it, the Chroma Conclave stuff.
Fair.
But like I said, it wouldn't make sense to have Tiberius in 2 episodes and then not being any more. So I get not having him in there. But he is in, Cobb, you borrowed my, Origins of Vox Machina book. He is in Origins of Vox Machina comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
I was going to say too, as far as like the actual content of the show went, all of the songs are fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, I have to imagine that Sam wrote most of them because they feel like the shit he writes.
I believe it was like him and his brother-in-law, wrote and produced a lot of the songs that Scanlan does, I believe is what they said. Because his brother-in-law would help him produce a lot of the songs that they use in like his ads and for Critical Role itself. Okay.
Yeah, because they are just, the songs he sings are always stupid, but very good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't have a lot else to say about it. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I thought it was really well done. I don't have any familiarity with the characters, so it's not like I'm coming in as like a pre-existing fan of Campaign 1 or anything.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's a lot of fun. It's goofy, it's over the top, it's super not safe for work, but it's good in all the right ways.
I expected it to not be like super not safe for work, and I'm glad they went that route. Like was it episode 2 when the person got thrown into the tree and it's just like their entire face is now a tree branch. I believe that was early in episode 2. I believe it was.
I mean, the very beginning of episode 1, like the first characters you see are just torn to bloody pieces.
Yeah.
And then there's just not like gratuitous sex scene, but like there is a very obvious sex scene with nudity.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see where they go. We'll definitely talk about it when the series ends. And it's what I was expecting, and I'm so happy about that. It makes me so happy that like maybe they'll probably do maybe a Campaign 2 Kickstarter, or I wouldn't have a problem if every time they get done a campaign, they do a Kickstarter for an animated series for each campaign. Once they're done with Vox Machina, they can go to Mighty 9.
I mean, honestly, if Amazon picked them up for a second season, if the seasons do well enough, like Amazon may actually just request to keep doing that.
True.
Like they might not necessarily have to do Kickstarters for it every time. Like the Kickstarter was basically proof of concept. Like, hey, this many people are interested in watching this thing, which is enough for a company like Amazon to be like, Okay, yeah, no, like, if this is the viewership we're going to have, we'll keep making these.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that is probably going to be a show for this evening.
I think so.
Yeah.
Drew, you got anything else?
Nope.
I have one quick thing. It's not super long at all.
No, I said this was a show.
It's not even adding to the show. It's just a request from the people who listened this far in.
No one's going to go watch your Twitch stream.
No, I don't. I'm not asking. I'm not asking you to watch my Twitch stream. I'm asking you to go to at @B_Hornets on Twitter and vote on my poll of whether or not you guys want to see me continue to play Pokemon on stream, or if I should return to my regular schedule of Metroidvania Mondays next week. Poll ends on Sunday.
Can I add options to the poll?
No. Last time I let people add options to the poll, I said, what cookies do you want for Christmas, excluding chocolate chip cookies, and everyone added chocolate chip cookies. So I don't let people add options to poll.
Well, this poll is bullshit. I'm not voting in it.
Why?
Because I don't like those options. I want a third option of chocolate chip cookies.
No, this has nothing to do with cookies. But please go to my Twitter and vote on my polls. Let me know who you guys would like to see on my Twitch channel. It's pinned to the top.
What is the Metroidvania game?
It's going to be Ori. It says it in the Twitter post.
Oh, see, that's too much reading.
I mean, it's not really.
I don't see Ori in here.
Should Monday bring back Metroidvania Monday with Ori, or should I continue with Pokemon Legends Arceus?
Yeah, that's the second paragraph. No one reads the second paragraph of a tweet. Come on, man.
It's literally 2 sentences.
I'm fucking with you.
Come on now.
But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, PodQuest. If you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. But if you can't support us there with your dollars, you can always go to your favorite podcast platform, like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help us a whole bunch. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And if you're interested, the next full session of bonus action will be going up for our patrons on Friday, as well as the next regular episode for patrons. And then next Monday will be the first episode of session 3 will go live. But other than that, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.